Repeat after me. I,
I,
state your name,
Tim Tumulty,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
protect,
protect,
and defend the Constitution and government
defend, and support the Constitution of the government
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Florida,
and the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified
to hold office
to hold office
under the Constitution of the state,
under the Constitution of the state,
and that
and that
I will
I will
and faithfully
and faithfully
perform the duties of the city of Cocoa Beach
perform the duties of the city of Cocoa Beach
Commissioner,
Commissioner,
on which I am now about to enter.
of which I am now about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And one is yours. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I can call you and you can chat. Who got your picture at the finish line? Who got your picture at the finish line? Great. Picture at the finish line.
I don't know.
They sent it to me. It was you.
Congratulations, Mayor.
Here, Carol.
I've got one.
Here, you have extra. Is that okay, Becky?
Oh, sure. Feel free to stay. You're welcome now.
All right, at this time, we'll do comments from incoming commissioners. Do you want to say anything?
No, I really don't have anything to say.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Of course I do. It's certainly an honor to be thought of as a commissioner and to have the city of Cocoa Beach elect me into this position. I've been, a couple times, and you got to pinch yourself when you come up here. It's like, is it really happening, right? Courtney, thank you so much for your support throughout all the years, and especially during this campaign. I know we had a discussion before we started this. Thank you. Tyson and Karina, my son and daughter, I guess they're out there, and grandkids, Aria, Elias, and Tristan. I'm glad they were here to see this, and maybe in 4 years we'll do it again. But I do want to thank everyone that supported me. I had a great marketing team and a great amount of support from individuals throughout the community to come back up here and be on the dais. So thank you so much, and I appreciate it, and I'll do everything I can to make you proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. I just want to thank everybody as well for voting for me. Thank you for my family for supporting me. It's been a pleasure working with you, Caroline, and I'm gonna miss you. And but I'll see you around town, I'm sure. Anyways, like I said, I appreciate everybody, continuing to support me, and I look forward to the next 4 years.
I'd like to follow our rotation and appoint Tim Tumulty as our vice mayor to serve for 2025.
Second.
All right,
I'd like to comment on this. I do not want to accept the vice mayor position for the reason,
We got 3 votes, so.
that's fine, you may, but I want to give you some reasoning as to why I don't want to do this. Yeah, I do have experience in being up here, but it's the first year of a term. In 4 years, potentially someone else can be in the seat. And to put them in the position of vice mayor their first year, I don't think is the way that we should go. We talked about this at another meeting a couple years back, and you agreed with me that it made a lot of sense to do it this way, where a commissioner doesn't become a vice mayor until their third or fourth year of the term. And it could be done easily. And we could change that and get into that proper rotation if, Commissioner Williams, you would accept the vice mayor position this year, and then again next year, and then we can go into the proper rotation after that, where seat 2 would be their third term, seat 3 would be their fourth year, and continue on in that order.
I'll throw my comment in there because I was vice mayor. I think you did a great job as vice mayor. I don't care either way. I'll be happy to do it if you want to do it. It doesn't matter. I literally filled in for 2 meetings for you. It was totally feasible as a first year, I think. I think you did a good job when Mr. Malik or Mayor Malik was there. So I'm fine with either way, but that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I would,
I don't think it's that big a time commitment.
yeah, I don't think it's a big
certainly
deal.
understand
The thing is, anybody can be elected mayor off the street and go straight into mayor without being vice mayor. So to me, it doesn't make sense to mess up the rotation. If you don't want it, we won't vote for you. If you do want it, I would vote for you.
Well, the rotation was messed up previously. That's what's happened. And that's all I'm saying. I don't want to get contentious to the first vote of something. I mean, it's not that big, like you said, it's not that big a deal. But now is an
I'll be happy to-
opportunity to straighten it out.
Okay, so let me just say this, okay? Way back, when I originally took office in 2007, we were in 3-year
Yep.
term. But the rotation has stayed the same, even though we went to 4-year terms. So that's kind of where it got askew.
Right. I agree.
Okay.
I think a giant Venn diagram would explain this.
It's not that tough, though. It's pretty simple.
So what do you guys want to do? You want to just,
I'd be happy to do it. It doesn't sound like we want to mess up the rotation, but I don't think it's that big a deal.
well, we had a
I don't want
mo,
to change the rotation.
We had
If
a-
Academy doesn't do it, then we'll.
we had a motion and a second to appoint you.
Well, if you pull your second, I'll pull my motion.
I'll pull my second.
I'll pull my motion.
Okay.
Okay, so without belaboring this audience, I'll ask Karen, so how will we make this rotation go based on, you'd always have to have it where the commission, the seats that got elected this cycle, that it would be somebody from the previous cycle, which would be either Jeremy or me. Okay? Okay.
Yes, I'm doing that.
So I would, per the rotation, I would be still next year in 2026. But we could change the rotation. Seat, you're seat 5? Seat 5 is 2025. And then we'd end up, when we go out, or don't go out, or I'm gonna go out because of term limits, but whether Jeremy goes out or not, that following year, it would be one of the other 4-year people.
It would be Joshua the next year and then me the next year.
But it would be one of the people that had already
Yes.
been here for 2 years.
Skip, or Commissioner Williams, I'm suggesting that you, after being on the commission for 17 years, would be vice mayor for the last 2 years of your term.
I can do that too, but.
That's what I'm suggesting.
Okay. You can make-
Commissioner Etcherson has been vice mayor for 1.5 years now. So I just think that this would drop it right into proper rotation and we can,
I'll make a motion that I continue as vice mayor until we get this ironed out, some new proposal rotation. I'm not following the logic of what years line up with what terms.
Well,
Looking for a second.
okay, pretty simple. The people that got elected this year, which was
sorry to make it so difficult.
seat 3, seat 2, and seat.
So the mayor's never going to be the vice mayor. Okay?
Right.
So it's seat 2 and 3.
2 and 3
Will
would
be-
come up in 2027, right?
Oh, is that in 28?
Yeah, 27,
No. If I did 2025 and 2026, then it'd be 27.
27.
And 28.
28. Josh would be 27. Tim would be 28.
Okay.
Then you'd be
Then seat 4 is 29, seat 5 is 30, and then it starts over 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
So we'd be going in order, number order versus.
So that has a lot to do with OCD, you know.
Okay.
You can do that, this is your decision on how you want to run it. We can also put it in the policies for your commission procedures on how to vote. It's your decision. There's no technical.
If you, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I make a motion to nominate Skip Williams vice mayor for the remaining 2 years of his term.
I second that. Any public comment?
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Wow, okay.
Is that an indication of the next?
City attorney. Motion passes. For. Is that? Okay.
Approval of the agenda.
Approval of the.
And I want all 4 items.
Where? Can I get approval of the agenda?
Right there. Approval of the agenda.
Yeah.
I move to approve the agenda as written.
I want to pull 4 items, Mayor.
You pulled an item?
Which ones?
You pulled 4 items?
I'm asking to pull 4 items.
Oh. Which ones?
I3, I5, and I8.
3, 5, and 8?
2, 3, 5, and 8. Make this agenda long.
Next is the presentation by the police department.
You have to run it.
All right, we got the presentation from the police department.
Hang on, did you vote on the agenda pulling this for?
I move to approve the agenda as.
Okay.
Second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the agenda as modified. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 4-0. All right.
You all right?
Good evening, Mayor, Commission, City Manager, City Attorney, Assistant City Manager. So the Cocoa Beach Police Department has been accredited by the Commission for Florida Law Enforcement Accreditation since 2015. Once every 3 years, the Commission sends a team of 3 assessors from accredited agencies throughout the state to visit our department and assess our compliance with approximately 250 professional standards. This assessment is a rigorous 3-day process that comprehensively evaluates every aspect of our organization, and is a voluntary process that we choose to partake in to ensure that we're holding ourselves accountable in the realm of public safety. It's actually no secret that in the last 3-year cycle, our department has encountered a lot of challenges. Due to the commitment and buy-in of each of our department members, this commission, the city manager, our city staff, other city departments, and this community, we have achieved a successful reassessment this past July. In October of this year, 6 staff members and myself attended 3 meetings at the Commission for Florida Law Enforcement Accreditation Conference in Sanibel, where the commissioners voted unanimously for our agency to be fully reaccredited. I would like to thank each member of our department, our city staff, other city departments, our city manager, this commission, and our community for your support, as we could not have achieved this outcome without you. I would like to introduce some of the people here first. This is our accreditation manager, Devon Buttram. Lieutenant Manny Hernandez. Corporal Bobby Strange. Officer Raul Adamas. Officer Brandon Tate. Sergeant Bill Stanley. Lieutenant Joe Mailman. Executive Assistant Rachel Tate and Major Tom Cooper. Last but not least, our quartermaster Pete Malzone, who has worked for this city for the last 52 years. We will continue to move forward and to grow as an agency and to make you proud. I look forward to seeing how far we come in the next assessment in 2027. Thank you for your time.
52 years, that's amazing.
Quick thing.
Yeah.
So,
He's been working for the city longer than the city's been incorporated.
longer than I've been alive.
Well,
So coming from aerospace,
well, that's not the end. What?
we're 100 years.
We're 100 years.
You said longer than the city.
Longer, half of it. I said half. I thought I said half.
So I was hoping they wouldn't leave, but a couple of us are in aerospace engineering side of it, so I completely understand the rigor that it takes to establish those processes and go through an audit like that. It's no joke. So we live in a time where police are, they've been bad-mouthed for the last few years. So I commend them for standing up and passing that audit. That is certainly not a cakewalk. So congrats to Chief Mullins and team.
All right, public comment about items that are not on the agenda. Go ahead.
John Lose, 444 Dempsey Drive. Just a couple quick things. One involves waste management. Waste management does the trash and the recycle and the yard waste pickup. And my comment tonight is that, there's a schedule for each area of the city. We're all on a different schedule. And I find, at least in my area, the schedule is not really a schedule. It's more like a target. We think we're going to come Tuesday and Friday, but we're not really sure. And the problem with that is that oftentimes they come 1 or 2 days late. Some people pull the cans back off the street because they're not coming, but then they do come, but it's not on the day you're supposed to come. The worst case scenario is when they just skip, which is common on my street. It gets skipped. They just don't come. So, life goes on. Nobody's suffering over this. It's just that it's not really a schedule in my observation. It's more like a target. Second comment, the City Hall is wrapping up the downtown area. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of positive things going on. I think something that we should continually talk about and hopefully someday pursue would be adding lights to the downtown area, like lighting up the trees and putting some landscaping lighting. I know we're going to do that on the cultural green space. I'm sure that's going to look nice, but it's very common on the walkways and the pedestrian ways in downtown areas that trees get lit and it makes the area very warm and inviting and people want to go downtown and, shop and eat and whatever. It's very nice. We're one of the few towns that doesn't have that, and our downtown is getting more investment. It's getting better. The new city hall's going in. I think that might be a nice next step. And with the power and utilities going in at the city hall, this might be the time to trench some lines in for future lighting circuits. Just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you. City manager, what do we need to do or can we figure out when our next bid is for the waste management contract? Maybe see if we can get some more bids from Waste Pro or something like that. We've had I have all the same issues that you have. They don't come when they're supposed to come. it's like pulling teeth to get them to grab the leaves. So I've been having problems as well, and it might be time to put out for bid for a new contract, or at least let them know that we're not happy.
Yeah, I can do that. I can get you that information,
Okay.
yes. Yep.
Thank you.
Can I comment?
Yes.
52 weeks of the year, twice a week pickup on my street, and it's probably not just because I'm a commissioner, but they've been late a few days, but there's only been 2 days that they actually missed. And talking to the guy the next time around, it was because a truck broke down. So I don't think it's as widespread a problem as being talked about. I'd like to hear a lot more from the community. Waste management worked very hand in hand with us after Milton came through. We lost Crowder Golf because they were tied up in the other disaster areas that were worse hit than us. Wayne, our city manager, was able to put extra hours on our staff and put extra hours on waste management to get the city cleaned up in, I think it was less than 3 weeks. And the whole price tag came in less than it would have been if we would have ended up having Crowder Golf and having their little FEMA guy following them around every pile they picked up, estimating how big the pile was. So my experience with waste management is a good experience, but as far as competitive bids go, when the contract comes up for rebid, I believe free and open it should be, and it has been every time I've been sitting up here when that contract came up for bid. So it's not like they have a monopoly on that contract.
And I do believe that we need bulk pickup at least once a month. I think the, well, I'm talking about bulk as in sofas and couches and beds.
Yeah.
This stuff gets, since the new contract, this stuff's been laying on the side of the street. It's been bad.
So I gotta say something about that. That was negotiated.
Yeah.
I understand.
In the last contract, as an extra fee for the people that want to throw their lawn their home belongings out into the street.
Well,
Okay?
we need to negotiate it back
If you
in.
make it where they have to do a bulk pickup, you're basically charging everybody to reward the bad behaviors.
I think we need to negotiate it back in.
That's good.
We need to figure it out. It's not quite working out right. I think a lot of the residents know that. I get a lot of complaints about it.
Well, there'll be a time to
But
put the proposal
Well-
out.
Well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out whenever the new contract is, and we'll have everybody bid on it.
And we can have input into the RFP.
Okay.
Maybe try putting a gift card on the trash can. That worked for me.
A what?
A gift card on the trash can.
No. I used to give them $50.
Exactly.
All right. Any other public comment?
Hi, my name is Joey Vistadomini, and I'd like to talk about a possible proposal for a city flag. Yeah, so a while ago, I started collecting flags when I was younger, and I got a Florida flag, a Brevard County flag, and I was kind of disappointed to realize Cocoa Beach didn't have any flag at all. So I kind of started working on that. I got a lot of inspiration from other coastal towns when I started working on it. I also decided to go with red, white, and blue, very patriotic community, as well as, these are the Cocoa Beach colors for the football team and for all our other sports teams. So I'd like to sort of know, what sort of process I could go through to get, to formally propose the flag. Because, I think there's a lot of benefits to having a flag. It's a great community symbol. I know we already have some community symbols, but they're mostly tied to either, a specific person or to an organization. So I think it would be a good opportunity to have like a collective symbol for the city. Especially with the new city hall coming in, I think it would be cool to sort of have a flag ready for like the day it opens.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joey.
Any
Something
other?
we can look into at some point,
Well,
behind the scenes, see
I
what
think,
the,
yeah, behind the scenes, we'll talk about it. Or
well, I
have-
mean, with the
have-
city,
City.
staff creating some process,
Okay.
if there is.
Is that two-sided?
Just one side. There's a bit of an error when I had the company put it in. They like sewed one side.
Yeah.
It's two-sided though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, we don't have to adopt that formally as a flag right now, but if whether it gets adopted or not adopted, for Joey's efforts, I think we should apply it for the opening of City Hall.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
And then we don't have to make a decision on a city flag, but just based on his efforts, put it up.
All right,
You know-
sounds good.
Yeah, another thought is our emblem too is kind of outdated. You think? I mean, I'm just going with that. That's something we could reach out to. We got a lot of artists that were just here last weekend that might have come up with something unique for our city and the new city hall too.
Joey, that was, it's pretty awesome that you're thinking about us and that you put all that effort into making it and presenting to us. I want to thank you for stepping up and doing that.
Did you make a motion?
Now, Joey, do we need to take that flag from you in case you're not around the day it's time to put it up? Or do you want to be here when we put it up?
You'll be here.
Be there when it happens. So, do you want me to give it to you, or do you want me to hold on?
You can hold on to it, just better show up and
Take pictures.
Karen, let them know when it's gonna be. 2025.
Q2 25,
I put it right down to the task.
first half 25.
March 1st.
State your name and address.
My name is Keith Capizzi, 116 Boca Ciega, Cocoa Beach. Just too simple. I hardly ever do this, but just felt called to do this. The thing about the garbage, this wasn't what I was going to say, but the thing about the garbage is people that throw their couches out and their beds and all that stuff, they don't have pickup trucks or trailers to haul it out. So they'd have to call for a special pickup, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so my thing I wanted to mention was, when you drive down A1A, and we have these new crosswalks now with the lit sign that says slow down, right? You've experienced that? When I'm doing the speed limit or under the speed limit, it's saying slow down.
Is this your number 2 thing?
Yeah.
Okay. It's FDOT. I'm Space Coast
So-
Transportation Planning Organization. Either they're gonna drop the speed limit to 25 for the 2 blocks there, and they've already got the sign figured at 25, or they haven't put the right number on the sign yet.
Okay.
But just don't be frustrated. Things take time. They've
Okay.
only been working on those crosswalks for 8 months.
Yeah. All right, I was just wondering, should I slow down when I'm doing 35 or 33?
Absolutely.
No, if you're
Yes.
going,
That's my comment.
all right, Wes says if you're going 5, you're fine, 9, you're mine.
About 6, 7, 8.
I was expecting those crosswalks to all be the same too, to try to match the rest of them, but they're
8, you're fine.
different.
9, you're not. 9, you're not.
Any other public comment? All right, staff reports.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I have a couple of things tonight. First off, I would like to introduce our new finance director. Her name is Hannah Jaman. She has a very impressive resume. She's started Monday. It seems like she's been here for months already.
Oh,
So
boy.
she's a very
Hi,
good
good
fit.
evening.
And I'd like her to give us a little insight into her background and her qualifications.
Sure. Hi, good evening. My name is Hannah Juman. As Wayne said, I started on Monday, so I'm just day 4 on the job here. So far, it's been a fantastic week working with members of the city. I'm coming to you guys from Vero Beach, where I was their deputy finance director. Prior to that, I have spent time I have a combined 10 years experience in both municipal and state governments. Prior to working for the city of Vero Beach, I lived in Tallahassee, where I'm originally from, and I worked in the executive office of the governor and part of the DeSantis administration for a few years, and prior to that in Department of Environmental Protection. But I am very excited to be here with the city of Cocoa Beach, to work with the members of the city, this commission, and to be a new resident.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that position is a very important position, a very difficult position to find someone of her qualifications to come on board. I'll be the first one to admit it, last budget cycle was a challenge. And so you guys can figure it out, but we have a new finance director, and I'm happy as a lark, so.
Awesome.
All right, so let's move on. I also would like to take a couple of minutes and kind of end of the year, beginning of a new year, new commission, and do kind of a state of the city as far as our projects and programs that we're working on. You know, I'm not going to address everything. I mean, everybody's doing all kinds of stuff, but these are some of the major things that we're doing. Okay, and Karen's got the switch over there. So the first project, as we were just talking about, is our City Hall project. And the description up there is a new construction project, construction of a City Hall, Centennial Square, wash-through area, and it began in 2024 and will be completed in 2025. The cost was established as 11.5 million, not to exceed a GMP, guaranteed maximum price of no more than 11.5. The substantial completion date for the project is February of 2025. So far, we're on schedule. And we're pretty excited. As anybody that went by there, you can see that the Centennial Plaza is a big area. And it's going to be the centerpiece of our downtown. We also have a really nice variable message sign that's going to be on the corner of Minuteman and Orlando. So we can get a lot of information out on that. And we're very, very excited about it. So hopefully we stay on schedule, and we'll be scheduling the ribbon cutting soon. Okay, so that's, yeah, and there are some nice pictures. Fantastic stage in the front. That thing that, you know, people have been calling a grain silo, a metal grain silo, is actually the elevator shaft that will eventually have Cocoa Beach on it in illuminated letters and a couple of bands of LED lights on the top to give it some character. We're also going to put a tide clock, a nice 5-foot wide tide clock above the stage. The stage will have a canopy on it, so we're not quite done yet, but we're getting there, and it's super.
Wayne, just one observation about the stage, and I've looked at it, is I see, it looks like one receptacle or maybe a camera and one conduit up for maybe power. But if you're gonna have like 5-6 piece bands or something up there, you're gonna need some power.
Yep, so you're 100% right. So there's a box there, Scott, it's called the City Switch.
Company switch.
Yeah, and it's all encompassing. It's like a mini breaker box there, which will handle anything, so,
Which isn't there now, but it's gonna be there, Scott?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
yeah. So Scott's the project manager on the job, and,
I'm just saying, it's not obvious that it's not like there's a whole bunch of different power outlets in the wall. Are you saying where that one conduit is, there's gonna be a gang box?
No, so there's actually more that needs to come through the wall and around the backside of there's a utility room around the backside. So there's still more that needs to be done. IM Solutions is helping us out with a lot of that stuff. We want to have, we're looking into doing some speakers and a couple other
Lights,
things out there.
lighting,
Lights and
yeah.
maybe a projector screen for movies in the park or something cool like that. But yeah, in these pictures, it's not the finished project, it's still a work in progress, so there's still more that needs to be done.
But it's not part of the current design, there's gonna be change orders to do that?
No, it's part of the current design. There was some hiccups with some of our conduit getting covered up and a couple other things,
Okay.
so.
no, it's definitely,
What is that one little thing sticking up there in the middle?
that's conduit.
It's conduit, but I can't recall off the top of my head exactly what that's going to be going
All
to.
right, I won't belabor it.
We
I
got
just
it
wanted-
covered.
I wanted to mention too that the Tide clock, that was donated by OG Enterprises.
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
Better be accurate.
Scott, you might want to stay close to that podium. All right, so next.
I thought you were gonna save the best for last.
Oh, this one? Well, I think everyone they couldn't
You could have talked about the
handle the anticipation, so.
beach
here we-
crossovers and.
Well, we're getting there. So this is a slip lining project which has been going on for quite a while. It's an ongoing program to repair, rehabilitate, or replace sewer pipe and manholes, slip lining, routing, liners, lift stations. You can see a pipe on the top there that has not been slip lined, and then on the bottom there, it has been slip lined. It's a grant-funded project, and it's extremely important. It's been going on for a while. Of course, it's Brad Calso's project, and he's doing a great job. So that is,
Weren't they saying when we did the grant funding, they were like super impressed with the pictures, and that's kind of what helped us secure that grant? I remember I was talking to somebody.
The videos that we
Was it the videos? Yeah. So,
Videos helped us get the grant.
oh, yes, yeah. Yep. So there's there's a lot of work involved in this. It's a company that specializes in this, and they've been doing it for us for a while, and they do a very good job. So it makes the vitrified clay pipe, which cracks and causes all kinds of leakage and outflow from the pipes, and it almost makes like a PVC lining in it, which will last for many, many, many years. Okay, so next we have dune crossovers on Osceola Lane and Fisher Park. Both of those dune crossovers will be ADA compliant. On our side, the budget impact is decrease in maintenance and repair costs, as well as projected longer service life. The cost of that is $252,000, and that's a city-funded project. Also on this slide is Minuteman shoreline erosion. It's replacement and restoration. It's a decrease on our side, on the budget side, in maintenance and repair costs. If you look at that picture there, which I know is hard to see, but there's a couple of canal ends on Minuteman that are eroding, especially down by Sunset. And they're eroding to the point where they're starting to compromise the sidewalk. So we have to address that, most likely with a seawall, but that's on our radar, and we have to act on that pretty soon. It's becoming definitely a danger. Okay, and that's, I think Morgan's doing that, Scott?
No, that's Devin. Oh, Morgan is?
Yeah, it's a public works, no, it's a stormwater project, correct? Yeah.
So we already got the bid, it was 115?
We are, Brad?
No, that hasn't gone out for bid yet.
So the cost that says 115, where are we getting that cost from?
It's in design right now.
Oh, that's the
Those are
design,
design costs.
cost?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, next. All right, the muck capping project. So we've traditionally dredged the muck out of the river. This is a new concept, and in lieu of dredging, this project is the capping of the muck deposits with a layer of sand in lieu of the muck dredging around the golf course. It's a multi-year, 100% grant-funded project. The project will be done over multiple years. It will have a minimal impact on our operating budget. The impact on our operating budget is just our administration of the project. And who's doing that one?
That one's
Devin's doing that one, yeah. Devin Talley is doing that one. She's doing a great job with it too. It's funded for $36 million. And we are close to getting, it's a very difficult project to permit through the permitting agencies because it's a new concept. Anything new with them is time consuming. And we're near the end of the road, right, Devin? Okay. Maybe she can give us a little bit of information on this. It has great potential in the cleanup of the river.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Devin Talley, Director of Grants and Special Projects. Hi. Yes, so it's part of the Save Our Indian River Lagoon plan. So one of the plans is to, do the sand capping and the muck in lieu of dredging. It's more cost effective. We have an FDEP grant for this project for $12 million, and then the Save Our Indian River Lagoon grant is $24 million. And so for this project, right now we're in the stages with the FDEP permit requirements. So our consultants are Geosyntec, so they're co-managing the project with us, and right now they're fulfilling the requirements for the FDEP permit. So we're almost at the end of the rope, and then we'll be going out for bid, hopefully in 2025 before the spring.
Okay, going out for bid for the actual construction of it.
Yes, right now we're in design phase. So design phase is, as soon as that permit gets approved, it'll be 100% complete.
Right. So it's an exciting project, actually, and it's other people's money, so.
Yep.
We'll see. All right, next is the 400 channel dredging project. I don't know, I'm sure you boaters have seen it out there. It is, hydrographic surveys indicated the 400 channel is filling in. Dredging will improve boater access and safety as well as water quality. Dredging is required approximately every 15 years. This was one of the first projects that I got involved with when I came here like 17 years ago. And it silts in one spot. We're taking care of that. We are doing this with mechanical dredging as opposed to suction dredging. So there's actually a long reach excavator on a barge, which you can see there, and they go down and just pick the muck up and put it in barges. They bring it landside in back of our tennis courts, actually back there, and offload it, and we can dry it out to a consistency where we can truck it away. This is much, much, much cheaper than suction dredging. Not to get into the weeds here with engineering, but suction dredging is like a massive vacuum cleaner that sucks all the muck up and pumps it to a spoil site, which then separates out the solids from the liquid, and it's much more expensive and much more time consuming. So we're gonna start to use this process much more because we can do spots that are just filling in as opposed to the whole canals. And I'll talk more about that
City
at
manager,
the end of
comment on
this.
that. So was that the basis? I know we budgeted like $1.5 million. Is it the basis was we were doing suction initially
Yes.
and then we avoided that cost by going, so going forward, we won't have that higher number for any of the other spot projects. We'll do this mechanical method?
No, we're going to do, yeah, we're going to start to, yeah. The engineer's estimate was based on suction driving, it was 1.2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. Okay, so that's that. There's another shot of, where they're offloading it, and you can kind of get an idea what we're doing. Okay, the next one is the Bicentennial Park improvements, new construction project. Bicentennial Park is kind of diagonally across from the hospital on 520. The park is one of only 3 public boat ramps in the city and is heavily used by locals, tourists, and commercial boaters. The park has fallen into disrepair and requires total renovation. The project includes correcting flood issues, a new boat ramp, and public restrooms. This project is funded through multiple grant sources. The budget impact is routine maintenance of the park, supplies, and maintenance of public restrooms. The project cost is $3.7 million, and we've got multiple, like I just said, multiple grant sources. We have an appropriation, I don't have the numbers here, but they add up to this total cost number. State appropriation from FDEP grant, a fine grant, that's Florida Inland Navigation District, and ARPA, which is the federal COVID funding source. And the city kicked in a little bit of money at the beginning for that, nothing major. And so we're going to be starting that. Scott, what's the?
So we're looking at January as a start date. As soon as it's approved that we can execute the contract with W&J Construction, which is on the consent agenda, the project manager who's actually managing the city hall is ready to put things in motion. He's hoping he can have some subcontracts out the door by mid next week. And so we're hoping to be rolling pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a project that's kind of long overdue. It's actually in FDOT right away, but we've got permission to take the project on. Anybody that goes by there knows that, you can go fishing in that parking lot after it rains. And so we're going to correct that. Restrooms, which is a difficult task, and, we have to drag sewer, water, over to that location, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere. So, actually Brad, who's with me and Hunt, is the engineer on that, and so we're moving along.
Do they have an idea on how long construction will be?
Yeah, so we're looking at about 11 months.
Right, now unfortunately, we're gonna have to completely close the park. So we'll coordinate with the kiteboard guys and, try to come to some solution for their situation.
This was initiated by them. Actually, Billy Bosch came to our leisure board meetings, I'm thinking 5 or 6 years ago, and discussing how much use that park gets and the flooding and, all the issues that they have there. The ramps are in disrepair, have been for decades, I think. But finally, this has come to. So it went through a lot at our leisure board meetings throughout the years. And then, Wayne, thank you so much for going out and getting these grants. The city doesn't have to pay for it. We weren't even sure what, the city doesn't own that property. It's a state property, it's a state road. And so we had to go through the state and get their permission to actually even make improvements on it. So it's going to be an incredible asset. It is already a great asset because all the kiteboarders that use it, they come from all over the world, to kiteboard there. And with these modifications and this change to it, it's just it'll blow up. It'll be even that much better. So I'm looking forward to it. If it takes a year to put that together, it's nothing.
Yeah, the boat ramp is heavily used too. Yeah.
So thank you for
a good
putting
project.
that together.
Definitely. Okay, so there's a couple shots of, I think the restrooms are there and the boat ramp. But that's a very good project and it's moving along. Okay, this is inflow and infiltration, I&I is what we call it. And it's, Brad, why don't you come up here and explain, because nobody knows what the hell this is. But it's extremely important, and go ahead.
So the inflow and infiltration is unnecessary water that enters our sewer that we don't want to treat. It's come from cracks in our pipes, cracks in our manholes, and eventually it could lead to blockages in the pipes, which lead to sanitary sewer overflows. So we are going to go through a massive study over the next 2 or 3 years to try to correct all of those deficiencies in our sewer pipes and continue to upgrade our sewer system and utility system. It's all grant funded. It's a SAFE loan, SRF loan through the state, 100% principal forgiveness. It's just another step for us to improve our utility.
Brad, this was during the last hurricane, when they were advising not to flush toilets, is because of this very specific reason. You get rainwater that's penetrating, you're processing unnecessary water instead of the sewer water,
Correct.
it's rainwater. So.
And by limiting the residents using their water, that's helping us.
Yeah. So
it's not going to solve the problem, but
definitely turn it the right way.
it's going to help.
Okay, thanks. All right, next we have the country club improvements. We did a couple of phases, but the last one we did included the outdoor patio area. Anybody that hasn't been to the 19th hole lately, please go and check it out, because we spent a lot of time and a lot of effort to modernize it and make it more fun to go in and, have a drink and have an affair there if you want to. An affair as in a party, okay?
Use a different word. Have a good time.
We don't want anything else going on in here.
City manager, is this ARPA funded, or did we get a grant for this? Did we get a?
It says grant funded.
No, I know, I thought we approved it as ARPA.
No, it was ARPA. It's ARPA
So it's not a
funded.
grant, that's COVID money, right?
It's COVID money,
Yeah.
yes.
We don't have to pay it back. We don't pay it back.
Get it, we're financing City Hall, because we didn't use that.
Yeah,
So it's not free money, we're financing.
it went to a lot of projects. Well, it is free. It was
It's
given
free
to us
money.
by the government, yeah.
We funded City Hall, the balance that we didn't fund.
It's taxpayer dollars from all over the country, absolutely.
The ARPA funds went to City Hall. The balance that we didn't fund with ARPA, we took a loan out on. So if this money didn't go to here, it would have gone to City Hall. So we're effectively financing it. Just my 2 cents.
Okay, so
So it is on debt.
we've done the restrooms in here. We've redone the starter shack. And this is a very, very nice facility. And we've been working hard to modernize it, to keep up with deferred maintenance and, not get bogged down with the negativity and just keep going forward and try to make it nice. And I think we're getting there, but there's more work to do. So there's a couple pictures of, the patio came out really, really nice. And a lot of people are going out there, and on a nice day, it's absolutely beautiful. So like I said, check it out. All right, what else we got here? Another Brad project, and these are pipes that cross A1A. I believe they're all cast iron pipes. The ramifications of one of them failing is significant, front page news. So Brad is addressing that now, and we unfortunately have to dig them up and replace them with PVC. So that is also grant, no, it's not. It's actually a city-funded project at this point, but I know he's going after some grants for that. So a very important project too. Then we also have Ramp Road Park on here. That's a multi-year improvement at Ramp Road, stormwater runoff reduction and lagoon improvements. The project is not expected to require additional costs in operating budget. It's grant funded currently for $746,000. The total construction cost is estimated at 1.3. So Morgan, our engineer, is going after grants. This is for design and permitting. Brad, am I correct? So it's a great park. I'm sure everybody knows where Ramp Road Park is. And so we're going to do some other stuff in the park too. But this specific part of it is a stormwater feed park project. Okay. All right. Holiday Lane boat ramp. Holiday Lane is a small boat ramp behind Cocoa Beach Health and Fitness on Holiday Lane. It's kind of a hidden gem that we hope and mostly is used by locals. The boat ramp, I've been directed to replace the boat ramp. There's $75,000 in the budget this year. That will cover the cost of design and permitting, and it will not cover the cost of construction. We've got preliminary estimates for the construction, $350,000. So I'm going to need direction from the commission as to how you want to go forward with the construction aspect of the project. So that's where we stand with Holiday Lane boat ramp. Next is the Country Club replacement sprinkler and irrigation system. It's definitely needed. It's been put off. We are under contract for phase one, which is 1.6 million. The materials have been ordered for phase one to the tune of $750,000. And so we, Scott, don't we have a pre-construction meeting scheduled?
Yeah, so next Tuesday, we have a pre-construction meeting scheduled. It's gonna be me, the contractors, Pignato Group, who are our consultants, and our green supervisors, or I'm not sure exactly what all their titles are, but Tracy Silk, Ed will be there. And we're going to go over staging of materials, how we're gonna start the project, where we're gonna start it from, any other things we might encounter. And we're hoping to start construction in January.
Is there any other plans to figure out drainage for some of the holes or the driving range so we don't lose revenue?
Figure out drainage, that's something that's gonna require some kind of study, I imagine.
Yeah, this is
That's
not,
a
this is
big
a
project.
strictly sprinkler. No, we have not done that yet.
This is just replacing the piping and the sprinkler heads, the irrigation.
This is adding water to it.
Yeah, I was just throwing that on as something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, it would require a lot.
Lost revenue is,
Yeah, I get it.
a lot too, so.
Okay, so next we have the skate park improvements. Just stay up there, Scott. The repair of the coping, apply sealer to new pool coping blocks, and extensive full park maintenance and repairs. Scott, you can go over it.
Okay, so initially with this project, I'm sure everybody already knows, we wanted to replace the metal coping with concrete edge, but we made a compromise. There's about this bottom left picture here. You can see where it's kind of formed up. So we made a compromise and we decided that 40 feet of coping, we would do a concrete edge, see how the general public reacts to it. If it's positive, then go from there. If it's not positive, figure out how to go about replacing all the metal coping with metal coping again. This section here that they got chipped out, the next picture over, that was a section that the concrete was just kind of falling in and it was all broken up. So they busted all that out. That's re-poured now. All this pool coping has been taken off. All the white pool coping has been taken off and replaced. It's been sealed. There's going to be like a hardening sealer on the concrete edge that they also did. And they also went through and they patched every hole that they could find. They resealed every joint they could find that needed it. They basically did full park maintenance repair as well. The skate park is scheduled to be reopened on the 16th, so it's coming up pretty quick. They're doing a great job out there. Byron Evitz has been overseeing everything, making sure everything is according to his specifications. And these people who did it, one of them originally was on the crew that built this skate park with Team Payne. And Team Payne actually recommended this company to us. So we've got really good contractors out there that they're skaters, they know what they're doing, and they also provide an annual maintenance service. So they'll come out, inspect, and maintain as well. So it would, we're hoping to be able to budget that as well in the future years.
So that skate park went into disrepair, and it's going to take us a little time to get it back up to speed, and hopefully, we don't, under our watch, we're not going to let it happen again, so.
So we're gonna add a service line item in the budget next year to maintain this?
Yes.
Mhm. Yep. And we're going to try that concrete edge, and, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And then if people respond positively, then we can budget to continue the project and replace all the metal coping that's rusted out. And
I should have brought that piece of pipe that we pulled out of there. and
yeah,
shown
Byron
it.
Evitz actually has a couple pieces of that rusted pipe as a memento.
Go ahead. Okay, let's keep going here. All right, so that concludes our projects. Now we have some programs, and the first one is our short-term rental. So, you guys directed me to come back with something on that. And Dave, you probably want to start moseying up this way. Somebody get a crowbar and get him out of that seat. All right, let me read what we got here first. So we're going to increase city efforts to address the issues associated with short-term rentals. It's not just, hire an FTE, throw an FTE over there, and this problem solved. It's a multi-faceted problem with a lot of different parts to it. So currently, there are approximately 302 units advertising/operating in the RS1 zoning district. Of these 196 units, 65% have a BTR and RS1 application. The compliance rate has increased from 60% in June of this year to 65%. The long-term objective is to increase RS1 compliance to 100%, obviously. But some of the staffing options are still being evaluated, and possible options are a full-time staffer, a part-time staffer, contract someone, and the 2024-25 annual budget includes a non-funded FTE dedicated for code enforcement. In other words, there's a job there that is not filled, so we can fill that job. It's just a matter of getting the funding for it. If that's what we decide, Development Services is the department that does this, so I take their advice and their recommendations, and we come to an agreement. We're not at that point yet, but we're getting there. Next, Karen. So we also, in this program, want to engage volunteer assistance from residents. There are numerous options that we are considering. The program has the potential to generate $70,000 annually between renewal fees and BTR fees.
Okay, can I just make a caveat there?
Sure.
That's not $70,000
Net.
into our
Yeah.
coffers as additional revenue. Right. That's $70,000 to offset the cost to administer the program, because the state doesn't allow you to actually make money off of your regulations on short-term rentals.
Correct.
So that could have been worded a little differently, but we'll go with it.
Okay, you're right.
There's not a $75,000 opportunity in revenue for the city.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so one of the other things we're doing is considering citywide expansion of the registration program upon program optimization. As stated previously, when 80% of units have been, when 80 units have been issued a BTR, anticipated revenue of an expanded registration program includes, assuming 80% compliance rate, annual renewal fees, $413,140. Annual renewal BTR fees, $44,492 for a total of $457,632. We also want to develop program to better inform residents regarding the status of short-term rentals. So Karen and I have been kicking that around in coordination with Dave Dickey, and we have numerous ideas which we're going to start implementing here very soon. But we want to get all our ducks in a row on this program and really pay much more attention to it. So lastly, we have, due to overload in the magistrate's schedule, we have also proposed adding another magistrate meeting monthly until compliance rates increase. So as we go after the non-compliers, they eventually have to go before a magistrate. That is a process that has been bogging down our once a month meeting. So if we need to add, not forever, but until we get this thing, get people into compliance, we have that option.
Yeah.
That's on the table.
Yeah, and so just to comment, because I put this on the last agenda, was the commissioner. So the conversation focused on the FTE or part-time, and I think that was the wrong approach. So this is exactly what I was looking for, is what is the overall program? Who do we go to? What's the plan to enforce this? And we got sidebarred on whether it's FTE. It sounds like there's a plan implementing current resources, which is the absolute best case.
Yeah, and
Staff can execute this, but I think just having this program visible and on record for residents to know. So thanks for putting that together. Appreciate
okay,
it.
yeah, and that's a big part of it, so that
Yeah.
they know where to turn to report something. I mean, I got one today from Jill, and it's frustrating.
Yeah.
I live in the you live in the middle of it. We all do here. People that live here. So, Dave, you want to get up and say something?
If you'd like me to, yes. I'm not sure I've been officially.
Don't show such enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure I've officially been introduced to the commission. My name's Dave Dickey. I'm the new Development Services Director. I am coming from a community just north of you in Cape Canaveral. I was there 10 years. I've been through these wars with Airbnbs, and so I'm hoping I can bring some experience and some fresh ideas to the to Cocoa Beach to help with this issue. I understand it's a very serious issue. As a matter of fact, I met with one of our residents today over this, and she and her husband are here today, this evening. So I understand the complexity of this issue as well as the urgency of it. So I think you'll see some very exciting concepts and a lot of progress in this area. So I'm not sure if there's any specific questions, but just be ready for some exciting things to be happening in this area.
And I really apologize. I thought you were introduced at the last meeting, which I was not here, so I apologize, Dave.
That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, I actually, if I can speak up, I watched one of the magistrate meetings, and it was very cumbersome, and for one person, it took an hour or more. And we're talking about hundreds. That's not going to happen. So it's a good idea, obviously, to have them multiple times a month. But that might not even keep up if you get to a certain point. I mean, with all these folks not following, proper procedures and whatnot. So,
Commissioner, I will say this, that the folks who end up in front of the magistrate are generally folks who are not going to play by the rules. Most of our property owners there's a big code enforcement, there's a large component of that is education. large percentage of folks who are visited by our code enforcement people just don't know any better. And so that's where that education comes in, and we're able to work with our property owners and get them to understand and comply. Compliance is the key, as is education. And so there's a process, a very well laid out process in code enforcement. And that is the base efforts is work with folks in the field, get them into compliance. And then if they don't, then we send out what's called a notice of violation, kind of ratcheting up our involvement, and then it ultimately gets to the special magistrate. And generally about, I'm going to say, roughly 10% of the folks that we initiate contact with our code enforcement folks will end up at the special magistrate. We're pretty successful about getting people to come into compliance.
Go ahead.
Right. Are you doing any evaluation on the fees that we're charging and the cost it is to the city so that those are, within a pretty close range, so we're not expending tens of thousands and not hundreds of thousands of dollars for this? If we need to raise the rates, obviously y'all need to tell us, and we can do that. And I'm okay with pushing them up if we need to right away. So
yeah, thank you.
Let's not hesitate on that. Right?
Yeah, thank you for that. We'll certainly keep that in mind as we're looking at as we start these programs start to gel, because we certainly want to have the resources we need to make a significant impact quickly. And that may be part of the recommendations coming from staff to the council, to the commission. But yeah, when we do that, we'll certainly go out and do a survey of other communities. We don't want to be way out of character, but we want to be able to provide the proper resources that we'll need to efficiently take care of this.
Yeah, and also, as these cases go through the special magistrate, keep score on which ones make it and which ones don't make it. And if 90% of them don't make it, don't get a favorable result for the proprietor to the special magistrate, that needs to be documented and used by code enforcement for those. Like you said, you get only 10% end up before the magistrate. Well, of that 10%, if you say, well, of the last 20 people that went to the magistrate, only one of them got ruled favorably, or only two, they might think twice about wanting to go that route. Right. Yeah. But you're going to need to capture that data. Right.
Agreed.
And it's a public record, so it should be easy to capture.
Yeah, I've only been with the city for about 6 weeks, so I've only been able to attend one special magistrate meeting. But in that meeting, he was very, he did a good job. He held the folks' feet to the fire appropriately, and I was impressed with his deliberations and his orders. So I think we've got a good magistrate in this point, but we will certainly do that. That's a good point.
Okay. All right, guys. Good. Thank you, Dave. Good job, man.
Still your meeting, Wayne.
Huh?
It's still your meeting, Wayne.
Okay. I'm almost done here. We're doing a lot of stuff, Commissioner. What can I tell you? All right, so residential canal dredging. We currently are, well, we're doing the 400 channel, but there's still a lot of Save Our Indian River Lagoon sorrel money out there. When we dredge, they assume 70% removal, so there's still 30% that's in the canal. It ends up cavitating into the middle of the canals again. So we want to resurrect the program again. One of the hurdles is getting our spoil site. This will be suction dredging, so we'll need spoil sites. Our spoil site island is at capacity, so we have to take material off of it. The granting agencies it's based on the amount of nitrogen and phosphorus you take out of the river. By removing material from the island, you're not taking any nitrogen or phosphorus out. They understand that now, so they're kind of redefining the scope of some of the project categories. So we're going to take advantage of that, and we also want to go after a citywide blanket permit on the connecting canals. the 0 to 99, the 100, the 200 to 300, up to the 600 canal channels, and permit them all at once. It's ridiculous that they'll give us a permit for the residential, all the residential canals, but they insist on us permitting each one, which is, it's exponentially more money. So we're approaching them with that, and, it's part of this re-upping this whole program. And, waterways are a big part of the city, and we cannot just let it go. We have to continuously dredge. So that's what my mentality is. That's what I'm sure you would agree, Keith.
Yeah, no, and honestly, I've been running these canals for over 40 years, and the last few years, the water quality's been better it's been as good as when I was a kid. So the muck dredging, I think definitely is helping. And I voted no on the half-cent sales tax before for the lagoon, thinking we're just going to waste the money. We're not going to do anything with it. That's government. But I was wrong. This is definitely doing something. So I support whatever we can do to clean this lagoon up. I support it.
Okay, and that capping project is, 24 million of Sorrel money too. So,
Yeah.
We're going after it. Okay, so that we're working on. This is actually an agenda item, but it's to correct pretty much the port has been taking advantage of the city of Cocoa Beach for a long time with the amount that they pay for the fact that we take their sewage and process it into our plant. So we're going to address that, and right now they pay it based on their water usage, which is their water bill from Cocoa. We are going to tie into it a head count of the passengers going on the ships. This way there's the ability to have that number grow as the port grows. And so it's a methodical process as we get the item up further on in the agenda. We'll talk more about that, but it's an extremely important project, and it gets it gets them in compliance and gets us the money that we deserve from them. So,
And we haven't had a rate increase in 20, 30 years, right?
since 2002, right? Yep,
So
2002.
22 years.
So is there sewage?
So-
Is there sewage coming from the ships? I mean, no, it sounds like.
No, it comes from the terminals, the restaurants, their administration buildings there.
And the reason I ask that is if it's coming from the ships, they're not consuming any of the water.
It's not the ships.
Okay, so it is tied to the water bill. That's somewhat of a reasonable
Yeah,
scale that needs to be adjusted. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
But like I said, they've been taking advantage of us for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, and all right, last but not least, we were directed to have a city centennial celebration. It's going to be 2 weekends, beginning July 5th and concluding on July 13th. And the July 5th date, which is a Saturday, will include a pickleball tournament. We're going to open the pool to everybody. There'll be a golf cart parade, a party in the park, and a drone show. And the drone show is going to be really cool. And then on the 6th, there is a big golf tournament at the country club here and a country club open house. The following weekend, and pretty much like all week, we'll work up to the air show. The air show is coming back. We've been in negotiations with the air show. We're going to sponsor the air show this year, and so we'll get sponsorship to offset our costs, so it'll be no impact on our budget. And Carrie Lombardo is she's back there. Carrie, ask some questions, please, so Carrie has to come up.
Where's the pickleball tournament going to be?
I don't know. Carrie, come up here and tell them.
Can I get a ride in the plane? I can fly the plane.
Lay in here, tie you to the wing.
She's going to kill me for this.
In the cockpit.
The pickleball tournament is going to be here at the tennis courts.
So they're going to allow pickleball?
They already had it.
Larry said so, yes.
They do?
We have it already.
Ooh,
It's
fighting words.
Haven't heard that, okay.
So tell us a little bit about the
So
drone
we're gonna
show.
we started out wanting to do a 5K, but there's a big one in Melbourne that day, so we 86 that idea. Pickleball is huge, everybody wants to have a tournament, and so we went with that idea since it's right here, and we can finish it off with an open pool for people that play in the pickleball tournament and their families. Golf cart parade is gonna be a patriotic theme, so we'll do that right before the party in the park, so it would end at City Hall. And then our drone show will be at night, once it gets dark. You can see it from 3 to 5 mile radius around the city, so you don't have to be at City Hall to be able to see it. It's gonna be really cool. The next day, golf obviously will be here. We'll do a Friday Fest the following week with a pilot meet and greet for whomever is going to be at the air show. We're still ironing out those ideas, or that's not my thing. Brian Lilly's doing that. And then the air show will be on Saturday and Sunday at, where is it, Lori Wilson? That's it.
Awesome.
So,
Surf
2 weekends
contest?
full of fun.
Surf contest?
No surf contest. This is enough.
All right.
This is a lot.
Thanks, Carrie. And
You're welcome.
thanks for, Carrie got this all together for us too, so thanks, she does a great job. All right, one more thing, and then my show is over here. I want to thank Brad Kelso. We had an incident a couple of weeks ago where FPL had a subcontractor out in front of the Hampton, and they drove a light post right through one of our pipes. It was deep too, it was 9 foot, something like that deep, and we had to divert around it, and Brad had a major headache with that whole process. They initially, of course, FPL said, not our problem, you guys did it, you know, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, Brad stuck with it. It was their mistake, and they took care of it, but it was a big project and a big problem that Brad, you know, circumvented. So just a thanks. Just another thing great that he did, so.
I'll piggyback onto that, actually, Brad. I got the call from the hotel when it happened, and me and you had gotten into contact. But he had said that you did an excellent job, and you're Johnny on the spot, so just wanted to let you know he gave you kudos.
Okay, and that's it. I'm done. Thank you. Sorry about that.
You sure? You done?
Yes, I'm done.
All right. City Attorney. Reports?
Nothing today.
All right. Commission reports. Yes.
Great job on this. Thanks for putting this together, Wayne. I didn't have a chance to read this ahead. So is there a way we can do this like once a month or just once a quarter recurring, just as there's edits or updates to these, just to keep?
How about quarterly?
Yeah, quarterly, some recurring.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a
yeah.
good job putting it all together, the hot buttons that residents care about. So I think it's just good.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Don't want to burden, but just whatever updates are out there, just an easy, yeah. quarterly.
I'll go with that too. I mean, I was thinking, you know, he talks with us all individually, but it's true, the general public doesn't get to see all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. So even though this takes a long time and it's kind of cumbersome and it, you know, it makes the meeting longer, the residents actually should know what's going on. So thank you.
Yeah, no, this is a good summary report, just whatever tweak updates.
No problem.
Anything, you want to say anything?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple weeks ago, National Kidney Foundation had their event here. Well, they had it actually at the surf contest. You might have been involved in that a little bit.
I won.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And we also had a silent auction here in Taste of Brevard, and it was a fantastic event. And my wife is the chair of that particular event anyway. Anyhow, also last weekend, we had Cocoa Beach Art Show. It's the 11th year that the new group, call it the new group, has been running it. Steve Romano is the chair. I'm the vice chair. Courtney is the entertainment coordinator for all the bands and setup for stage and everything out there. Cindy Kelly is our art director. She's done a fantastic job to keep the art show and not a craft show. The artists there were fantastic. It's true art, not Chinese made, conveyor belt made kind of product. It is handmade, individual pieces of art, and it's awesome every year. And I appreciate everyone involved that put that together. And because of that, I lost my voice. You know, talking for last week to just about everybody that was at the event. But I appreciate everybody that showed up. The weather was a little different this year than it has been in the past. But the people and the artwork were right on point. So thank you very much. That's all I got.
Karen, can you bring up that brief 15-page presentation I had, please? I don't have anything.
Don't tell me.
Welcome, Tim.
Anyway, so you guys all know, or did you go? Or you?
No, I'm good.
Okay. We have the Winterfest coming up. I believe it's the 14th. I believe, right? And then we also have the boat.
7th.
Or the 7th.
The 7th.
Is it 7th?
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah.
The Winterfest, and then also we have the
14th,
parade.
we have our
Both
parade, our
parades.
Christmas parade.
Both
Street
parades
parade
are on the
and the boat parade.
14th.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we have the boat parade.
The Christmas parade and the boat parade are on the same day, the 14th.
Right. Right. So just letting you guys know that. The turkey trot, I don't know if anybody went to that. That was pretty amazing. I think we had 4,600 people actually run the race. That was amazing.
It was crazy.
It was pretty crazy. It's it's nothing I've seen like that in Cocoa Beach, like that many people running down the road. It was amazing. All right. That's it for commission reports. Consent agenda.
Okay, this is the consent agenda with the items that have pulled being removed. Item 1, approve the November 7th City Commission meeting minutes. Staff representative Karen Groom, City Clerk. Item 4, requesting permission to execute the contract with W&J Construction for the Bicentennial Park Improvements Project. This is a budgeted item. Total cost, $3,735,815.60. Staff representative Scott Maxim, project manager. Item 6, approve resolution 2024-28, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Cocoa Beach, Brevard County, Florida, dissolving and disbanding the Sustainability Committee and Land Management Committee and providing an effective date. Staff representative Wayne Caragino, city manager. Item 7, adopt resolution 2024-29, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Cocoa Beach, Florida, creating a Sustainable Land Advisory Committee, providing for membership, providing for terms of office, providing for duties, providing for rules of procedure, providing for reporting responsibility, and providing for an effective date. Staff representative Wayne Caragino, city manager.
Move to approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. I think, should we wait for Jeremy?
It's just, we got 3 votes.
I think by law, we're supposed to actually.
No, you can.
We have a quorum.
We're good? Okay.
You're good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, remove from the consent agenda, item 2, request to approve extension of continuing engineering services agreements, CB 20-005, Mead and Hunt, Jacobs Engineering, and Bowman, staff representative, Brad Calzo, Water Reclamation Public Works Director, Devin Talley, Director of Grants and Special Projects.
I'm going to discuss and approve if that meets the quorum.
I didn't pull anything.
No, the way we're supposed to go over.
Oh, decorum?
I said,
It's-
move to discuss and approve. I kind of adjusted it a little.
Okay.
You let me get away.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Sure. That's good.
Okay, you pulled it.
Okay, I'll second that. That wasn't the motion I wanted to make, but, so my point, the motion I wanted to make was the period of performance is through 26. Do we want to shorten that to 25? Generally, I don't like the continuing service agreements. I think it puts some cost risk on us if they're sole sourcing it, and we've got a 2-year extension. So understanding they have to come back, but Are we going to lock in for 2 years? That was my concern.
Well, we've had good results with
Yeah.
these companies.
Okay, sole sourcing this stuff and just
You're not sole sourcing it
continue.
by doing a continuing, no, because you
wouldn't
can
bid
go
it out
out.
if the threshold's
You
over
can.
50K.
You can if you want to.
So what's the benefit of the continuing services?
You don't have to go out. You don't have to. If
Okay.
you want to, you can.
But the
And it does-
continuation of ongoing services that would be disrupted if we.
They're on retainer, basically. But if we would
No,
not, we
they're
would not.
already, they're actively working things. So that would come to a halt, and then you have to advertise for a new
They
company.
go through a whole process
And then you
again.
gotta bring the new company up to speed on wherever we were
Understand.
with these folks. So if anything, we could discuss in the future about how to taper it off, maybe give them less
Scope.
work,
Yeah.
so that there is kind of a lull between a rebid. At this point, it would be disruptive.
Okay, that was my only question.
You had, didn't you
We
have,
gotta vote on that one.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes 3-1.
Okay, item 3, request to approve professional lobbying services agreement with Smith & Associates. This is a budgeted item. Staff Representative Wayne Caragino, City Manager Devin Talley, Director of Grants and Special Projects.
Move to approve as read.
Second. So do we want to make an amendment to defer this to start January 1st instead of December 1st? I mean, they're not on contract now. We're going to be halfway through the month. That was
We're
my
not gonna
question.
pay them until they start working.
Which is December 1st. Is it in the contract?
I'm not sure when does he start?
We have been consulting with him, and he realizes that he won't be paid if this doesn't work, but we have been consulting with him.
Yes.
And he's been helping us since, actually, a little before December 1st.
He's doing unfunded work. This is
He's
back
doing
paying him?
unfunded work, but he's been working with us,
Got it, okay.
starting at least December 1st.
And he's got his phone laying next to his bed in France.
And he can, he's on vacation in
No, I had
France.
that conversation. Okay, that was my.
Honestly, I'll say he's been really
Yeah.
accessible and he's
And if
he's been
anybody,
great.
just for transparency, anybody doesn't know, this lobbyist isn't like the ones we had before that just were in Tallahassee. This lobbyist would work on all levels, from the city to the county, with other municipalities, bilateral agreements, multi-county agreements, all the way to the state level. And it's Jason Steele. He's well-connected. He's been involved in this kind of stuff for as long as I can remember.
He also.
It hasn't be that long, but quite a while.
He's also going to supply federal lobbying, which is a big deal.
And federal lobby.
Yeah.
I'll say Jason, I mean, he was appointed by the governor to his position. He's got a firsthand relationship, I would say, compared to another lobbyist that's maybe, just a lobbyist. So, and he's, I think about $20,000 a year less than what we were currently paying. So this is just a no-brainer.
That was my only comment.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, item 5, ratify the following 3-year union contract for the period October 1, 2024 to September 30, 2027 between the City of Cocoa Beach and the Laborers International Union of North America, LIUNA, Local 630, Staff Representative Cindy DePina, Human Resources Director.
Move to approve as read.
Second. So my question, I don't know if this is a HR question or a finance question. How do these negotiations align to the allocations we provisioned in the budget for this? And then while she's coming up, there was a couple, can we get a red line copy? I couldn't really tell the context. It was just the edits. It wasn't like the red line document. It was just, hey, this word changed, and I have no idea what that value is or exposure is?
Sure. Hi, good evening. This is exactly what was budgeted for, in alignment with what we've given the other unions.
Okay.
So it's all within the same parameters.
Okay.
And just for public's interest, this particular union contract is for the city employees, not including fire and police. They have their own separate union contracts.
Yes.
And then, so the last one coming is the fire?
We already did fire and we did police. This was the last one that was outstanding.
Did we approve the fire?
Yes.
We did?
Yep.
Did them at the same night,
The
fire and
fire.
police. Yeah.
Okay. I don't recall that.
All right, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, item 8, approve Waterfront Solutions to construct ADA dune crossovers at Osceola Lane in Fisher Park for $209,750. This is a budgeted item. Staff Representative Brad Calzo, Water Reclamation Public Works Director, Morgan Zulke, Stormwater Utility Manager. Recommendation approved.
Move to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Any comment?
I didn't have a comment, but I know a resident did. I don't see him here. John?
You want to?
Open for public comment?
Go ahead, John.
That's it.
Start at 3 yet.
This is John Dillon, Cocoa Beach. First thing, I want to appreciate Morgan and Brad, get my concerns back to the engineering and the contractors. Y'all should have received all those emails except him and my email address. But anyway, my concerns about that, they took care of all those yesterday or today. I just talked to the Cape Design. Used to do their design review for those years ago with the Cape or KSC side, so good guys. Anyway, appreciate they've done some good, corrections to get things concerned to save the city's liability and money. That's the main thing. One of them is for the ADA, concerned with the height of the handrail. Those were material for the wood and the stainless steel type of those. And the fourth thing was the concern about the inspection, make sure that the right material is received and during the construction, the right material instead of putting the cheap and wrong stuff in it. So I think Cape Design is doing the, still call it Cape Design, I still say that, always will. They'll be doing the inspection, so that's my number 4 of that, so that should be good. So anyway, again, I want to thank them to, get back and get the comments and get them squared away with it. I'll give this to court clerk, put it into the file with that. Thank you.
Thank you, John, for volunteering to apply your professional services to our projects.
Thank you, John.
I had no other comments. I just wanted to give him.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, K, unfinished business. Item 1, adopt ordinance 1694 on second reading. An ordinance of the City of Cocoa Beach, Florida, adopting a new Chapter 13.1 misleading advertising to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Cocoa Beach, prohibiting misleading and advertising with a rational nexus to the City of Cocoa Beach and providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date. Staff Representative Lauren Weltsey, Principal Planner David Dickey, Development Services Director. Staff recommendation: approve second reading and adopt ordinance 1694, misleading advertising.
Move to approve, as read.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any public comment on this? Any commission comment? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Jackson? Vice Mayor Williams?
Approve.
Commissioner Tumulty?
Approve.
Commissioner Hutcherson?
Aye.
Mayor Capizzi?
Yes. All right, new business?
Okay, new business. Item 1, consider recognizing Brian Johnson, Cocoa Beach resident and Cocoa Beach High School baseball coach, by adding his name to the city entrance sign. Representative Tim Tumulty, Commissioner. Recommendation approved.
Move to discuss and approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
I'll second it.
Okay.
So, I didn't have the criteria in front of me when I was discussing this with our city attorney. So I asked you to look into the criteria and give me a synopsis as to how it measures up to our criteria. I know
Okay.
criteria can be a little bit gray.
The criteria is somewhat vague. It's not in our code and it's not in our charter. It's in our procedures. And the procedures for individuals, and I apologize, I don't have it in front of me, but it deals with, for individuals, one of the categories is champions. And it's my understanding that this person was part of a team that was a national champion. So, you know, the more I looked at it, the more it looked like it did fall into that category.
The way the item is written, it's basically recognizing a person
Yes.
for being a Cocoa Beach resident and a high school baseball coach.
Well,
And if we did that for everybody that lived here that was a baseball coach, we need 3 or 4 signs.
okay,
So there's more to it than that.
yes, definitely, there's more to it.
There's a lot more to it.
He has to be a resident, for one thing.
Yeah, we
But he
know.
is a resident now, but he has to have achieved national standing as a
Okay,
champion.
Tim will fill us in.
I will. Karen, do you have that document?
I can,
The one you handed me?
Yes.
It is on the agenda.
I guess while you're looking for that, Rick, go ahead. Public comment. Rick Anderson, 1800 Minutemen Causeway. So I was born a Boston Red Sox fan. My dad took me to see Ted Williams. My dad took me to see Carl Yastrzemski. I lived it my whole life. It's in my blood. There are 10 million more of us from Connecticut to Maine. And Brian Johnson came to the team. And I will tell everybody here that it takes a truly special athlete to stand on the pitcher's mound in Yankee Stadium in front of 60,000 Yankee fans in a Boston Red Sox uniform. So the 2018 team, Boston Red Sox team, was a historic team. And Brian Johnson was a major contributor to that, and he earned that World Series ring. And at the end of the season, if you can all watch it on YouTube, the celebrations, 500,000 people lining the streets of Boston, celebrating the World Series. It's a very intense, crazy city. And then to come back from that and come back to a hometown community and serve the hometown community as a baseball coach in the local high school, I would be very proud to see Brian Johnson's name on that sign.
Thank you for the update. I don't think we need to go through what.
I got it. Yep.
But I would like to say,
Do you have it?
what are we gonna say? What's the sign gonna say? Can't just say Brian Johnson, baseball coach.
Well, yeah. Basically, World Series champion. Just let me read this. Why don't I just read this and then you kind of will come up with a plan going forward. All right, basically honoring a local legend, Brian Johnson's athletic journey and impact on Cocoa Beach. Cocoa Beach has long been known for its beautiful beaches, laid-back lifestyle, and tight-knit community. But one of the shining stars of this coastal town isn't just a local icon in spirit. He's a true embodiment of hard work, determination, and athletic excellence. Brian Johnson, a proud Cocoa Beach resident and 2009 graduate of Cocoa Beach High School, has not only made his mark in the world of baseball, but has returned to inspire the next generation of athletes in his hometown. Brian's journey to athletic greatness began right here in Cocoa Beach, where he was a standout at Cocoa Beach High School. And in 2008 and 2009, he was named Florida Today Baseball Player of the Year and earned the prestigious first-team All-State honors for his exceptional skills on the diamond. These early achievements were just a glimpse of what he was to become and as a talented young athlete. During his college Brian's love for baseball led him to the University of Florida. There he continued to shine, and as a member of the Gators, Brian played in the College World Series Finals, an experience that would mark the beginning of a remarkable career. His skill as a two-way player, excelling both as a pitcher and batter, earned him a place on the collegiate national team in 2010. His talent was undeniable, and in 2012, he received and coveted the John Olerud Award, given to the best two-way player in all of collegiate baseball across the country. Now, in 2012, Brian's dreams came true when he was selected the first round of the Major League Baseball draft by the Boston Red Sox. As the 31st pick, overall pick, it was the start of his professional baseball career. Brian made his league debut, eventually earning a World Series ring with the Red Sox in 2018, a crowning achievement in any player's career. But what really makes Brian's story even more inspiring is his return to Cocoa Beach, where he's now giving back to the community that has supported him throughout his career. And as the head coach of Cocoa Beach High School, Brian is not only imparting his wealth of knowledge and experience, but also serving as a mentor for young athletes who dream of following in his footsteps. Brian's story is one of relentless drive, perseverance, and pride in his roots. From a high school standout to a World Series champion, Brian's journey serves as inspiration to all who have the privilege of watching him grow and to achieve greatness. We believe that someone who has done so much for Cocoa Beach and the sport of baseball deserves a recognition of their contribution. That's why we're calling for the city of Cocoa Beach to honor Brian Johnson by dedicating a spot on the Cocoa Beach City welcome sign to celebrate his incredible athletic accomplishments. This tribute would serve as a reminder to residents and visitors alike of the exceptional talent that has emerged from this small beach town and would inspire future generations of athletes to chase their dreams. Brian Johnson has shown us what it means to work hard, stay dedicated, and bring pride to our community. It's time for Cocoa Beach to return the favor by celebrating one of its own, an athlete, a coach, and a true hometown hero.
Very good. I would like to make a suggestion on what the sign should say.
Yep.
I think it should say Brian Johnson, World Series champion, spelled out, and then abbreviated Cocoa Beach High School baseball coach.
I like that.
I like it.
Yep.
Public comment?
Any other public comment? All right, sounds good.
All in favor?
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Number 2.
Okay. Okay. Item 2, discuss the design and construction budget for Fire Station 50. Staff Representative Jeremy Hutcherson. Commissioner, recommendation, reconsider path forward for Fire Station 50.
To discuss the item as written.
I second it.
Yeah.
Can I second it? Or pass the chair?
You can pass the gavel if you want to.
I second.
So we all got a note that said, don't challenge the capability, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm asking, at the surface, $5.5 million for basically a 2-car garage and 3,000 square feet seems excessive. I want to make sure that we get ahead of this so that there's not scope or cost growth like with City Hall. The second piece of that was there is $150,000 in the design budget. It's kind of in the operating budget this year. It was hidden under professional services, so I don't know if you guys had visibility. It was one of the comments I added to the budget, but I wanted to highlight, if we execute that $150,000 design, I would advise you guys are probably going to see every bit of that $5 million for construction cost. There's not going to be a cost down effort. So I wanted to highlight that whenever that comes forward.
And then this wasn't budgeted, I mean, it was in the budget, but it was pulled, so this is not budgeted.
This year has $150,000 to do the design.
So
Can I comment? And can I get Hannah and Cindy up here? So this is a mistake in the budget book, this number. If you go on our side into the Navaline system, that was taken out. There is no money in this year's budget for this project. However, this number is wrong. This number, what is it?
What else is wrong?
200 and, where is that number? You guys got that number in front of you there?
Well, I'm not blaming them, but I'm saying,
Okay, I see it here. It's 219,587 in professional services in the fire department. That is wrong. $150,000 was taken out of that number, but it was never changed in here. So you are right. I mean, it shows in there, but it's a mistake. So if you go on our side where the money is in the Navaline system, that money was taken out.
that's not what was approved, it's on the website.
Yeah,
It was sent to the state.
You're correct. This is, you guys approved.
What is
the
Avalon?
printed-
What is Avalon? That's the online system or something?
Navaline is our financial software.
Got it.
So in other words, it was taken out of that, so it doesn't exist for us to do anything with because it's not there. But this is wrong. So, as I reiterate, just let me reiterate, that's why we have a new, finance director.
You can see why I get frustrated with this number jockeying around. I mean, this is,
And Commissioner, we don't hide things. I don't want that to become.
is there legal implications that this budget that's on the website that we approved is in with our signature?
Can we interject?
Go ahead.
It's a budget. It's just like, if you guys were, really zealous, you could put together your budget for 2025, what you're gonna spend on groceries, what you're gonna spend on taxes, what you're gonna spend on entertainment, what you're gonna spend on coffee.
I got you.
And write it all down.
I got you.
And guess what?
It's gonna change.
That's not gonna be what it is.
Okay.
So this is a budget. This
Okay.
isn't a financial accounting ledger.
Got it. So
This is a budget.
That's
And
new-
you puts and takes on the budget. Some things will come in cheaper, some things will come in more expensive. And you advertise your budget so people get a general flavor of where the city is spending its money.
Got it.
So,
So let's
I'm
re-steer
in-
this
I'm in-
conversation to the scope that we're
okay,
approving.
so I'm in favor of funding the design of Fire Station 50 in this current fiscal year and putting it out for bid when the design's complete. If that's before the end of the fiscal year, we can put it out for bid and get that number and then see if we can fit that into the 2026 fiscal year budget.
We approved the scope to execute that. The money can be harvested elsewhere.
But
So
we
that's
got-
the
we-
basis
but
of this
What I'm
discussion.
saying, what we're doing here is, my motion, I don't know if I need to amend the motion.
What is the motion?
What,
The motion was to discuss. We don't have a motion to do
I have a
anything.
motion that we fund the design of Fire Station 50 in FY $25 with the goal of completing the design in time to get requests for qualifications and pricing before the end of the budget cycle so that we can consider it for a build by a separate contractor, not a design build, a design bid, and have that in 2026.
Yeah.
It's a long motion. Do I get a second?
Second.
Oh, things are changing.
okay, I'd like to hear from the fire chief if he wants to talk about that building or anything.
All right.
Justin Grimes, interim chief. So I did want to say, I do have a presentation. What we can do for saving time is let's talk about some of the real quick things about the station. It is 62 years old. It doesn't meet the requirements for a contemporary fire station. So what that means is that our apparatus has to be customized to get lower to actually fit in there. We got about 2 inches on each side of the mirrors and about 2 inches above.
We do not have a standby generator, so anytime there's a storm, we can't be in there, it's not hardened. Anytime we have a loss of power, that means we may not get alerted. So there's some major things that need to be done to this station. So what we're trying to do is keep this station running so that we can make the movement towards doing a design bid and trying to relocate the station to somewhere that's going to be a little bit better, to give us better access to the beaches, quicker access and out of a residential neighborhood, and try to build it so that it meets all the requirements of a contemporary fire station.
Any feedback, Mayor?
Yeah, I got feedback. Honestly, I'd rather do this when we had the money appropriated for it. I also think if we are going to design it, there's no sense in designing it unless you absolutely know you're going to be building it next year, because lots of stuff can change, I think, from 2 years out or whatever. Personally, we just spent a lot of money. I think we spent a lot of money on City Hall. We spent a lot of money on a lot of stuff lately. I'd like to slow down on some of our spending. And I understand all your concerns on that. So for me, I'd like to slow down on some of the spending. I understand that it's old, but I think we could probably push it out a little bit.
All right, I'm gonna stick my neck out, okay? My neck sticking out says, design it, get a price on it, have it as a shovel-ready project, and I believe that a grant will be available to help us pay for that station. And sometimes those grants have short fuses. If you got a shovel-ready project, you get the money. I'm willing to stick my neck out and say that I believe that will happen.
Part of the way I wanted to bring this up, I'm not disputing the capability, 100% support that. But to me, a $5.5 million fire station seems huge. I mean, it seems, I don't even know how you spend $5 million.
Well,
I shouldn't say that.
Well, in the station we got now, which is, years old, how is it, 8 years old?
The new station, yeah, it was 2015, so 9 years old.
So it was 4.3 million.
I got it.
Okay, so if you
the
put,
inflation-
even if you put 3% escalation on that, you're getting in the $5 million range. Now, that station up there might not be as grandiose as
So
this
that's what I'm talking
station.
about. If there's scope and there's the
Yeah,
cost side of it. If
well,
we're gonna
then-
mitigate
we won't
inflation-
know until we get to design.
That's exactly why I seconded the design. I'm fine with that. I want to get clarification on the money. What happened at City Hall, when we signed that initial contract, there was any other feedback on any of the requirements. So it escalated into this massive project.
Cycle, the fire chief will have his needs and his wants and his wish list, okay?
As long as the commission can have a take at that, I'm
That's
totally
the
on
way
board.
we did it before.
That's not how we did the City Hall.
I know, but that's
So
how we
that's
did
what I'm
the
trying to
fir-
mitigate.
That's how we did the first fire
That's
station.
what I'm trying to mitigate. What started as a $4 million project turned into 12.
Requirements to have the accreditation for a fire department. Right.
And I support
And
that.
that's the minimum requirements. If there's things that you wouldn't need in Lake Mary, like a lower wash through that may have some roll-up garage doors to put jet skis in for ocean rescue, they don't need that in Lake Mary. Right. We could use that. That's one.
Can I add to that too? I've spoken to the Ocean Rescue Chief and they are interested in partnering. If there's something we can do to help, so as they grow and they have some of their issues, they're interested in partnering. Now, that doesn't mean what they're partnering on, but they do have an interest in working together on that. So,
Like we did with the emergency services from Brevard County and Station 51.
yeah, correct. So
There's a partnership there and they
Got
pay costs.
Totally on board with that.
You want to say, let's give Tim a chance to say something.
I'll listen to what they got to say for a little bit.
Okay. I want to tell you that I do agree that we need a new one, and I am for a new station. I'm just not for it right now. That's all I'm going to say.
yeah, and let me just say, in my almost 20 years of working here, this thing's been on and off the budget consistently. I can see if the city clerk can send you guys the PowerPoints, you can take a look. And then maybe we can try to do a tour and you guys can see like some of the things and that'll give you a better understanding of like long-term where we need to be and, you know, maybe a plan of how to get there. It is something that I do think we should definitely plan for and start to try to move in that direction at some point, so.
And Station 51, the new one, it was on the back burner and pushed down the road and pushed down the road and pushed down the road until a commissioner and the city manager fell through the floor, the raised floor, 2 feet to the concrete below the raised floor.
Yep.
And then that's when finally the light bulbs went off and we, you know, got serious about building the fire station. And took some heat over that because there was people who wanted to build the city hall first and there was people that wanted to build the police station first. Well, now we got the police station and city hall. And the next step is to get that fire station on the north end. And I'm just happy. This vote is to support funding the design. As far as spending money to do the actual build, that battle will be for another day. But we'll have the requirements and we'll have a, you know, independent government estimate on the cost, not a ROM, not a throw a round number at it, 5 million.
So if that number comes back 8 million, what do we do then? Have a second design iteration?
Then we go for a bigger
Hang on, let me finish the question. So if we comes back a huge number, no ceiling, it comes back and we don't want to fund that, now we spin up a second design iteration to cost that down. Is that another $150,000 you're talking?
No, you follow the design process as it goes through the wickets.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, Mr. Dillon could tell you, you know, if you had somebody bird dogging it all the way to make sure they're meeting the requirements, not getting every want and wish, okay? Meet the requirements. Then we get a real number of what we really need for the department, for their accreditation, and I always say add 10% for future growth. That's the requirement.
So when the number comes back over 5 million, we have to spend a second
Either that or
design?
we gotta come up with a better way to get more grant money.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to mitigate is that.
So we can
slope growth.
hypothesize all day long. And that's what happened 20 years ago. 20 years ago, they kept talking, hey, that's too much money for that fire station. It was a wood fire station. It's where the parking garage is right now. And that's Chuck Billius and another commissioner fell through the floor. And it didn't get built right away either, because there was pushback. Matter of fact, I was on the commission when it finally was built. We built the new fire station. It cost 4 times what it should have cost because they delayed it. If we do this, it could be 4 times as much again. All right? So these are the tough decisions we got to make. Yeah, so what's my train of thought on that? Is it, you understand we do need a fire station up there. You all agree with that? Mary, you said you agree that we do. Just not now?
Yeah.
I mean, we wait another year, your inflation is going up. Skip, you mentioned that, you know, it cost $4 million for the fire station. Well, it's 10 years later. It's not $5 million for that fire station now.
No.
It's $12 million for that fire station now.
Grandiose, it doesn't need to be as grandiose as this station up north.
It will be every bit as $5.5 million.
Okay.
Because that number's out there.
Look, my priorities, I started to stick my neck out. I said, let's design it. And
I agree with you. I agree with you.
The other thing
will not
is,
be
I've
below
stuck my
that.
neck out on for 17 years, is police, fire, and EMS is my #1 priority. And I'm supporting 100% getting that fire station.
Here's a problem we have right now. We have 4 commissioners here present. So it still takes three positive votes to go forward with it.
Correct.
So I suggest we table this discussion until we have, because this is a very important decision, and we should have all 5 commissioners here to discuss this.
I agree.
Do you guys think that maybe between that time, we can try to set up some tours, look at some needs?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If you haven't been in the,
I've been there. I don't need
I mean,
to come on a tour.
it just boggles my mind. You haven't been in there.
Thank you, guys.
I mean, thank you.
I'll be with you for those tours, and John Dillon.
Absolutely.
All right, So we're gonna go with the motion to
Table.
table to
Yep.
date certain, which is the first meeting in January.
Okay. If I can comment too, we've been in discussions with an architectural firm that's done numerous fire stations for the county. This is a satellite station. It's not going to be like, our main station. And, we'll rein them in, that $5 million, I don't know where that even came from, to be honest with you. Something that I inherited, but they will work within the constraints, and they kind of have like a cookie cutter type,
Yeah.
satellite station, and we just modify that slightly for our needs. And, it's not gonna be any tricked out,
Commissioner, don't get me wrong, I think $5 million is exorbitant amount
You
for
guys
a
understand where
small
I'm coming
station.
from? It's all- wait a
Absolutely.
minute.
Yeah.
Wait, I made a motion to table.
And wait, we're table, we're not talking about it anymore. What am I doing?
We're
I'm sorry.
talking about it. After motion to table, you either vote to table it.
Thank you, Skip.
All right, we're gonna vote to table it.
Still got to speak.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, John,
If you
Not to
vote to
speak.
table it,
Okay.
there's no more
We bring it up,
comment.
no more
Then,
comment. We vote,
then
now we
let's
vote to
vote, well,
table.
let's vote to table. If it passes, then there's no comment. Vote to table, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Right.
sorry.
Next
Next meeting, you can talk about it. Because we didn't vote for anything for it.
Or
You'll
you
have to have rights for people to speak before you end of anything.
No, that's not how it works.
Not for a table.
Not for a table.
Mayor, you can let him come up with public comments at the end.
Yeah, at the end, you could talk about something that's not on the agenda.
Absolutely.
It is on the agenda.
We have public comment for that at the end.
That's for items on the
Yeah, I doubt it.
Moving on.
Number 3.
Okay, all right. Item 3, approve proposed fiscal year 26 budget cycle milestone dates. Staff Representative Jeremy Hutcherson, Commissioner, recommendation approve revised sections 3.01 and 5.01 in accordance with red line updates.
Move to approve those red line updates to those two sections.
Any motion for a second? All right, no failure for a second. We will move to 4.
Okay, for, approve revision to Cocoa Beach City Ordinance 2-7.1 competitive bidding. Staff Representative Jeremy Hutcherson, Commissioner, recommendation approve proposed red line to section 2-7.1.
Move to approve the red line to section 271.
I'd like to see the red lines.
You can second it.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
So this is basically reducing the approval threshold. We're the only city in the county that requires commissioner approval of $50,000.
I can't hear you.
It's proposing to lower that threshold from 50,000 to 25,000 in line with every other city in Brevard.
City
I don't think it's
manager,
enough.
did you guys ever find out when we voted on raising it or what it was previously?
It was a long time, when I started, it was 15,000.
It seems like it was
Then it went to,
Micah.
then it went to 25.
I could have swore that we recently voted
Then it
from
went-
25,
I
no,
wouldn't have let that go from 25 to 50.
to 50. I thought that was with,
Before me.
with the previous city manager.
Robin?
It was,
Robin.
no, it was Bob Micah.
Was it?
Micah?
It would have required commission approval.
Absolutely it did.
Adjust that. So it was before my time. I knew that for sure.
Do you know about what year that was?
2014. Maybe 13.
So if you lower it to 25, it just means that there's twice as many things that will come to the commission for approval. Most of them will be, if they're budgeted, they're going to be on consent. And they'll say, this is a budgeted item for $36,000. And they'll just go through on consent.
Great. That's what I'm proposing here.
I see where
don't know why
I see where
we're
you're coming
unique.
from as far as, you want to know more what's going on and what's being
Well,
spent.
it's not me. I want the residents to know. right? I mean, we're the only city, I don't know what we're doing unique to make it, we need a higher approval threshold.
I gotta believe that our city manager isn't just gonna go spend $50,000 and not tell us anything that's going on. That's part of the process here when we have meetings and we have city commissioner, city manager reports. That's when he tells us, hey, gentlemen, I just spent $35,000 on this because it was an emergency situation and we needed this new valve and I had to buy it. Now, if you drop it down to 25, he's got to come to speak to all of us and get the okay for this $35,000 valve because we've dropped this threshold to 25,000. When in fact, it probably should go higher, unfortunately, due to these times that inflation is going up so much. Everything costs more. So going backward is not going to help anybody in an emergency situation.
So let me add to that. I believe if you do your homework and you're saying all the other cities save 25, anything over 25,000. Wouldn't it be amusing if we went to 25 and then over the next 6 months they all went to 50,000 or more? You know, because I believe they'll be going in that direction.
I'm sure they will.
I'm in favor of leaving it the way it is.
All right, it's up to you, Mayor.
I understand where you're coming from, you know, and the only thing is the city manager needs to be able to do his job without being delayed and without us kind of interrupting. I understand your side of it. You got to get stuff done. You can't have us, you know, holding you up on certain things. And the scope of things, $50,000 anymore isn't a huge money item. But I do understand your point is you want to know, you want the residents to know what's going on. But as you know, you could spend $50,000 to get your windows, you know, in your house or whatever it is. And that's kind of basically a small ticket item in my opinion. But any public comment on this? Yeah.
And Karen, before we vote, can you restate the motion? Just so we know.
John Lose, 444 Dempsey Drive. I think it's interesting that our threshold for competitive bidding is different than other cities. I think that's an interesting aspect. However, if you go back to the pre-COVID years, I think, you know, 25,000 may have been a good number then. And we would have been the same as the other cities. But in the last 4 years, costs are like double and triple. Construction costs, cost per square foot. It's gone up so fast, it's not even explainable how fast it's gone up. I think in the times we live in, the 50 seems to me more like the proper number. And if you lower that number, it's not suitable to the times we live in. And it does take more staff. There's a staff cost associated with bidding. There's also a delay because there's work to be done to bid it. Then you have to have bid openings, bid awards. It elongates the schedule as well. So even though it's interesting, we're different, I think we're right sized for the times we live in. If we were 4 years ago, I would say we look a little high. But today, it looks like the right number to me. Just my thought.
Thank you.
So we're not changing the bidding threshold. It's the approval threshold.
What? You're whispering and we can't hear.
It's not changing the bidding threshold, it's changing the approval threshold. The bidding threshold stays the same, so there's no extra burden on the city.
Understood.
Yeah.
There's public comment, so you understand it exactly the way you do.
KP Finkel, 190 Seminole Lane. You guys talking about less than 0.1%. If that is not in the approval power of the city manager, you micromanaging way too deep. My thought on that.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay.
To approve the red line, you wanted to see the red line.
Okay, so a no vote would be not to approve. Just want everybody to understand.
I agree.
Not to approve changing it.
Correct.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Motion fails 3-1. Okay.
Okay. Item 5, approve proceeding forward with the Port wastewater agreement update. The task force is in conformance with the agreement for continuing engineering services, RFQ CB 20-005, dated December 3, 2020, between the City of Cocoa Beach owner and Mead and Hunt, Inc., Mead and Hunt, and is referred to herein as the contract. The project includes modifications to Chapter 19 of the city's Code of Ordinances and modification of Article 2, Industrial Pretreatment Program. The existing Port Canaveral wastewater service and maintenance contract will be amended. Proposed amendments will include modification of charges to adequately fund existing and future costs incurred by the City of Cocoa Beach. This includes increased costs associated with regulatory compliance, depreciation, collection system maintenance, treatment plant upgrades, administrative and operational expenses. Proposed changes to the current agreement will establish an equivalency between customer traffic, sewage strength, and flow. The equivalency will be used to create a monthly rate based upon a combination of flow and the number of visitors per month that pass through the port facilities. This new equivalency charge would be used as the basis for calculating monthly payments that utilize a combined rate for flow and charges per customer as the basis of wholesale charges to be paid for sewer services. This is a budgeted item for $71,520. Staff Representative Brad Calzo, Water Reclamation, Wayne Caragino, City Manager, recommendation approved.
Move to approve as read.
Second.
Motion and second. Any comment?
Perfect example. It's over $50,000. It came to us. We get a choice. That's all we know about.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, item 6, requesting permission to contract all right fence services under our continuing services agreement using reserve funds to replace the driving range net post that snagged during Hurricane Milton. This is an unbudgeted item. Total cost $179.43. Requesting permission to contract all right fence services under our continuing services agreement using reserve funds to provide and install a chain link fence continuing from the end of the new net post being installed and tying into an existing chain link fence to the west. Both of these items need to be approved together. Without these barriers in place, golfers could be hit by balls from the driving range. This is an unbudgeted item. Total cost, $54,726.65. Staff Representative Scott Maxim, Project Manager, recommendation approved.
Move to discuss and approve.
Second.
Okay, so looking at the actual proposal, there's $184,000, and there's that was for 40-foot high, and there was one for 60-foot high, which was $253,000 that got scratched, and then there's this total cost of $54,000. I'm kind of confused as to what we're actually getting and what we're actually spending. Scott, are we spending $54,000 or are we spending $184,000?
Both.
Both.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the proposal, due to our missed meeting, you got it on 11/12. It's good for 30 days. So if you don't pass this, the proposal's not valid. And the second one from the same date. So yeah, we have to take action on this. And, the other question is, where's the guarantee?
The guarantee of golf balls not coming over?
No, the guarantee
that it stays up.
the next Milton that comes by is not gonna blow it down.
Well, we're going to have this one on a crank, right?
Yeah, so this one will be on a crank. So those other poles lasted through multiple hurricanes. They were just,
Fencing didn't.
they were, no, there
never
was
does.
no fencing there. No,
Never did.
the netting never did. The netting was always messed up all the time, but this will be on a pulley system so we can take it down during major storm events. From grade, we don't have to get up in a big high reach.
I mean, what's the guarantee that 4 years from now, you go to crank that thing up, the tracks are all rusted, the little wheels are all rusted, you know, whether they give us some maintenance, tell us how to grease them, what kind of grease,
A lot cheaper than a whole new net.
Well, it's,
Let's just say that that's not, the whole fencing, all that's not gonna corrode out, and they finished the job, we paid them. What's the guarantee?
we have multiple chain link fences all over the city that have lasted decades, and then the pulley systems on our flagpoles have lasted years and years as well. So it's gonna be a similar type of thing.
Is it, do the chain link fences that have the rubberized green coating on them hold up longer than just straight chain link fence?
Sometimes, yeah.
There's different grades of chain link fence.
Yep, absolutely.
Did we look at the grade that they're giving it?
It's gonna be the same type of fence that's existing out there on the west that I was talking about, where it ties into the fence that's already existing on the west corner.
What would you believe the lifespan of that fencing to be before it need to be replaced?
That fencing's probably been out there at least 10 years, probably more. We have.
Can you expect a 10-year lifespan out of
Possibly
$235,000?
a lot longer. Like I said, we have fences all over the city that have been up since way before I started here.
Well, do you know did you guys do a price on one that's not on a pulley system compared to one that is on a pulley system?
No, we did not do that just because the maintenance that was involved every time a hurricane came through and destroyed those. Joe Tucker would go out there in a high reach, and he'd be out there for days pulling it down or putting it up or fixing it. This would cut all of that out. It would save us money in replacing the nets all the time. It's just a much better way of doing it.
Yeah, I know every single hurricane we've had, we lose our nets pretty much. So as long as you guys promise you're going to use the pulley system and bring it down, I'm for
Absolutely.
it.
Okay. End of discussion.
Any public comment?
Any desire to bid it out other than this one, or we're okay on the CSA?
I mean,
Like I said, I'm leery of CSAs.
The longer we wait, the more revenue we lose on this.
I got that, but
I have a question.
my concern with CSA is.
How much does a driving range generate per year?
Do we have,
Anyway, we get
Ed here
EPA
from-
to execute this.
yeah, go ahead, Ed. Yeah, we can address that, Tim.
Thank you.
And it should make more because the prices are low.
That's intentional,
Ed, introduce yourself.
right?
Ed Thinger, General Manager, Cocoa Beach Country Club. I've got, Karen, do you have that thing you can put up, please? So if you compare last year, we were charging, for the last forever, we've been charging $1 for a bucket of balls, which was drastically under what anybody else charges in the county, let alone the country. We increased our prices in late September, starting beginning of October. If you look at this revenue that we have here, it's a week-by-week comparison of last year to this year, okay? So this year, we've only made $1,000 on the range in the first 2 months. Last year at that time, we made $4,400, okay? So we're down $3,500. Now, if we take into account our price increase with the average of, we do a $3 bucket and a $5 bucket right now. So if we average that out to 4, you look at the revenue last year of $44.46. This year, had the range been open a similar amount of times, we'd have been pushing $17,000. We had projected this year to do in the $60,000 range in revenue from the range. That number is drastically affected every day it's closed. And when you think about the range, it's very profitable, okay? There's not a lot of expense to it. The balls we buy a couple times a year. The maintenance on the range itself is minimal because it just needs to be mowed and we need to do some things. The way the range looks now,
We already had plans, because I feel if you're going to raise rates, they should get something out of it. We have plans to improve the look of the range. There are things we have that we want to do. Takes money to do that. The $1,000 that we've pulled in isn't much. The range right now is only open from 6:45 to 8 a.m. because it's a liability issue. There's nobody coming upriver before 8 o'clock, so we're able to allow some people to use the range. But, I mean, we're making, as you can see, we're making pennies on the day. It's not even covering the cost of the electricity or the staff that have to do a little bit of it. So to tell you, last year we did right under $40,000 on the range. I think it was around 36. So we would hope to at least double that this year with the rate increase, assuming we didn't have any kind of crazy weather issues. From my standpoint, in order to, if with the rates increased, it'll take a couple years to get that money back, but in a couple years we can get there to pay this off, if you will. I understand all the issues with this, but we are drastically losing. You know, you guys tasked us to find ways to make more money and stuff, and this was an easy way to do it. And for the record, we are still the cheapest balls in the county. We've raised them, you know, $3, $5, $7, and we used to be $1. But we're still cheaper than anywhere else you can go in the county.
I think it's good.
Thank you.
No, I got a couple more things. So you mentioned that we buy balls every year. This was brought up at the Leisure Board multiple times over the last 3 or 4 years, and nothing happened with it. Why are we buying golf balls when we could potentially have the Hilton coconuts, someone else buy golf balls and put their logo on them?
Yeah, I mean, I've had that.
And then we have zero expense in golf balls.
Correct.
And that's somewhere around 10,000 a year, or 5 to 10,000 a year or something?
Yeah, I'd say in the 5 to 10,000 range.
So, Mr. Hutcherson, that would help that a lot as well. I know you'd like to, find ways to save money.
For the record, I'm not disputing getting this capability. I'm asking for the
I'm
competitive
not
bid.
either. I'm just saying that a lot of times we want to try to find little ways to save money. And this would be a little way to save money over every year in perpetuity. So now if we did that, then we don't have that $8,000-ish charge for the next 10 years. That's $80,000 if we were to go that direction. Currently, the fence is low. Was there any ever thought, hey, anybody can go to the range whenever you want, but you just can't hit your driver or your 3-wood?
So as much as that is a concept that could work, it takes one person to come out there, hit a driver, put a ball over it, and smack somebody in the head, and then we're facing a big lawsuit. So we've talked about using an 8-iron and lower to try to do it, and we've talked about angling the range. These are all ideas that are good, but Tim, as a golfer, it takes one person to hit one off the toe, and now somebody gets hit on River 9. So it's a dance that I personally think is difficult because unless I have somebody sitting on the range watching every golfer out there and making sure they're not pulling that club out, I don't know that we can do it.
Well, maybe we do. I don't know. All right, that's the thought. I think that's rather than having no one out there hitting balls, if you had, someone out there a ranger out there, instead of sitting in the cart over in the cart barn, they're there, sitting there, maintaining the range. Maybe
it would take an additional employee because we don't have a range person in the morning until noon, 1 o'clock. So that would be an additional staff member that I don't have budgeted.
I get it, and Ed.
Trust me, I've thought of every possible scenario any of you guys can come up with, and right now we're trying to do, based on my conversations with city manager and HR, right now we're leaning at the 6:45 to 8.
Okay.
If this doesn't get approved, we can look into trying to make some more changes, but I don't know that we can ever make the revenue that we could with nets when we start thinking about taking, for instance, hey, you can only use half your clubs.
Right.
Some people come out, but not everybody.
I get it. Don't get me wrong. I really appreciate what you're doing out there. I just want to try to brainstorm and come up with some other
100%.
ideas.
All right, thank you, guys. Any public comment on this before we vote? All right. All in favor of paying for the nets? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 3-1.
Okay, item 7, approve the scope of services for engineering and design in the amount of $174,561.47 from Black and Veatch Corporation to perform work on gravity sewer pipe replacement repair project for the intersection of A1A and Wakula Lane and North Banana River and West Columbia Lane. $200,000 is budgeted this fiscal year for engineering and design services for gravity sewer pipe. Staff Representative Brad Calzo, Water Reclamation Public Works Director, recommendation approved.
Move to approve is read.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any public comment? Commission comment? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, item 8, approve the purchase of Cocoa Isles Playground Equipment Replacement Project in the amount of $76,291. This is a budgeted item. Staff Representative Brad Calzo, Water Reclamation Public Works Director, recommendation approved.
Move to approve. Second?
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. Any public comment? Any commission
Is
comment?
this on, do we need to bid this out? It's over 50K. I sound like a broken record, but it's 76K. Was it on continuing services?
Do we,
Right. Bid this out.
do we use same people all the time for playgrounds, or
Corcat has done the majority of the playgrounds in the city.
have we recently done any other bids on playgrounds from anybody else?
Not that I'm aware of, sir.
I'm in favor of,
Just going as
of,
This is the last one in the city, too.
That's our policy, is anything over 50K, continuing services bypasses that. This is 76.
Just the problem is with the continuing services, and we've seen it in the past, is they know that they're getting the job and they charge us whatever they think they can get out of us, and I've seen it, you know.
Well, that's exactly why I just disapproved the last one, for that very reason.
I know
I agree
that.
with the concept of the nets is the procurement method. I don't know the cost controls we have on people. Once they make it on that list, they can charge.
The reason why I went with the nets is because I want to get this
Right.
driving range up and
Fair enough.
going, but this is a playground, this isn't as dire. So I'm in favor if we can see if we can get a better price, I'm okay with that.
That's my concern.
I got a question. Is the current, I mean, I go by that playground at least once a week, and I don't see yellow caution tape wrapped around it, so it's still usable. It's just that we know that we're gonna need to replace it?
Yeah, there's some safety issues in that park, isn't there?
This is the last playground that has metal fasteners and metal pipes and metal poles.
But I
So-
mean, the park's open currently.
Correct.
Okay. So it's not like those people up there have no park until we do something. So I can support, going out and seeing if we can get a different price from somebody else. And by that time, we go back to these people, their quote was only good for 15 days. And there's a lot of caveats in there saying that the prices are gonna go up, and if you don't take it, you might pay more. But I guess that's a lesson we'll learn.
So then what do we vote on to say that we want to get this bid out?
So I'll make an amendment to defer it for competitive bids.
Okay.
Does it need a second on
You
that?
can't defer it.
No.
We have a motion.
No,
So motion and vote on it.
down the motion, and then you give direction to
Well-
the city manager to
take
take it out to
action.
bid.
So how much is it going to cost in the interim here to go bid it out and figure out on how much are we going to save? It's hypothetical, right?
Even if we
5,000,
save, even if we
10,000,
save
20,000?
10,000 here, 10,000 there, it all adds up.
It still costs money to do that.
So let's
Right.
change the policy then. Let's change our policy, our city policy.
Do what?
Whatever your number you're about to identify.
I'm not identifying a number. I'm just asking the simple,
How does it cost money to bid it out?
So,
well, we have employees that are working. Per hour, that's how you calculate it.
Well, I doubt there's going to be $5,000 worth of looking at bids. All I'm saying is
well, you gotta have a scope of work.
Yeah.
So basically, you could plagiarize this list that these people gave us. I don't know where they got it from, whether that's what we told them we wanted and they've just priced it.
Good, if that's what you guys want to do, if you want to bid it out, bid it out.
I mean,
No, I'm
I
just
just,
saying.
I just bringing up a point.
Somebody's got to come up with the scope of the work.
I went with the other one because I want to get that golf course up and
We're
running.
not bartering, we're not bartering agenda
This,
items.
this right here is just, we have time to see if we can get a better price, so let's do it.
All right, so city manager, who's going to create the scope of the work for the RFP?
So our staff will. So the RFP process takes 3 to 4 months. We have to advertise it. We have to have a pre-bid meeting. We have to answer all their questions in addendums. Then we have to give them time to prepare a proposal. And then we get the proposals. We form a committee which evaluates the proposals. And then we select the firm that we feel is most responsible and responsive. Then we bring it to the commission, and that whole process takes 3 to 4 months. In the interim, prices are going up. I'm just commenting, probably out of line here,
Not a
but
profit, but these people have already done the work. And for this little bit amount of money, I don't see a bunch of people chomping at the bit to go bid on this when it does come out as an RFP. And in that period of time, like I said, I'm a profit, but if we might get the same company for the same exact bid at a higher price 4 months from now.
it's happened.
So, we could approve this and then be more proactive in the future when you know these things are coming up. Say, hey, we're proposing to go do another playground, which we're not because this is the last one. And we want direction from the commission as to whether you want it to go out for bids or whether you want us to just price it with our normal vendors. So would that satisfy you?
And it is a budgeted item.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna support it.
All right, talk me into it.
Thank you.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
The gavel? No gavel up there? Is there something? Public
Okay. John, go ahead, let me give you that.
We already approved it.
John Dillon, you wanted to talk about that or no? Okay.
No?
General,
You can, go ahead if you want to get up and say something. Real quick, man. Just,
Oh, boy, we got public comment.
Public comment.
Rick Anderson, 1800 Minuteman Causeway. I don't think anybody sitting here can say that the budget process has worked. I've watched this for 4, 5, 6, 7 years in a row, and it's been the same thing every year. It's been the millage rate comes up, and nobody wants to allow any wiggle room within the millage rate, and then the budget comes up, and there's not enough money to pay for everything, and this is going on year after year after year after year. Commissioner Hutcherson made a proposal to change the schedule around. Maybe it wasn't perfect. I read the schedule over myself. But the crux of the matter was it was putting at least some sort of a blueprint of a budget together before the millage rate was voted on. And my fear is that you all voted it down, you didn't even consider it. We're going to be standing here 7 months from now, 8 months from now, with the same nonsense we've been going through all these past 4 or 5 years. So I hope that somebody comes up with a proposal along those lines to fix this broken process, because it's just not workable.
Thank you. Let me just make a quick comment. If we were to have went through with the proposal, we would have had to do a special election for that, is that right?
we would have done a charter amendment.
Or a charter?
If we change the verbiage under his red line items for the city manager requirements, it would have been a referendum because that's a charter item.
So we would have either had to do it in 2 years, or we would have had to spend money, about $10,000 to put it on for next year.
The,
So that was my mistake. I wrote that. I spoke to the city attorney after I submitted to Karen. I realized that I wanted to put it ordinance to bridge the gap. The same intent, just not in the charter.
And then what I want to say too is, I think what we have would work if we actually had our stuff on time. I think that was our main thing.
That was my intent, is we missed two gates.
We just
One
need to
was
get
3.5
our stuff
months
on
late.
time.
So can I comment?
Yes.
I agree, and I identified your concerns, and that's why we have a new finance director, and that's all I'll say.
Okay. We are adjourned.